Ladies and gentlemen, the show will commence in 5 minutes. While you are waiting, please hit the like button and share the video link.
Please like and leave a comment, and share this video.
Only 3 minutes until the start. Only 2 minutes until the start.
Please like and subscribe to this channel today, and don't forget to share it and hit that thumbs up. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the awesomeness is about to start in 1 minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to begin. Grab a drink and a snack, sit down and enjoy watching the show. Don't forget to comment, like the video, and share it to others.
Hello, everybody. Lawyer Live. It's show 41. And on my left is Duke, co-host, and zoologist,
Yeah.
as we call Dr. Doolittle.
Rat man.
Yes.
Porcupine guy.
And below me is, oh, there goes my camera again. Below me, oh, like a magician. Below me is Bubba. And the guy under Duke is Gideon. And they're here to tell us about Belarusian real estate later on after we just discuss a bit of the news.
Mm-hmm.
My camera's a bit flashy.
Shaky.
Matrixy.
Gosh.
So we'll see what's going to happen. So, Duke,
Yes.
how was your day? Working?
Oh, kind of a tough day. The boss lady was there, so kept working. And normally Sundays we're supposed to have it a little bit easier, but it didn't work out that way today.
Okay. Baba,
Well,
introduce yourself.
Yeah, it was a very, very wonderful weekend this week. Actually raining. So
Terrible day today.
yeah. So this is what we see always every time in Minsk. Today is raining, tomorrow is sun.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay, Gideon?
Oh, well, as for me, after a little time, you just get used to, everything. Just take life one step at a time. So I'm okay. I'm good.
That's good. Okay, Duke, let's start.
Yeah, let's kind of get through the news. See if we can get through this a little bit faster. We can
Let's
talk
hope my camera doesn't go.
about some. Yeah, what are we going to do then? We could probably have to restart, or
No. I'll just be a voice in the background.
Okay, you'll be hiding. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just be a voice.
Okay. Well, anyway, first news. I guess it goes appropriate with our lead-in, the Island of Tears. That was about the lost people in wars, and we have to mention Russell Bentley. It looks like some people are saying it's verified. I saw Mike Jones on his channel. If a lot of you know Mike Jones, from Russia, he's British and he's in Russia and he's on RT, Russia Today a lot and all. And he was saying, well, it's not quite verified yet. They haven't really shown any real proof yet. But his wife, says yes, he was killed, Russell Bentley. And there's some various stories, so we're not going to talk about.
We
have a good picture of him too.
We heard of it days and days and days ago.
Yeah, we heard of one story some days ago, and I don't know. And then some,
and then a podcaster said I was spreading
rumors,
Ukrainian
propaganda,
disinformation, and then obviously we found out it was right. There you go.
Yeah, this is Russell Bentley, as I remember him. That's when he moved from Texas to fight for Donbass, and I think he's the one that first coined the phrase "Ukrauts," meaning Ukrainian Nazis or something. So he hates Nazism, and of course he went to fight against the Nazis, and a lot of people don't know. We've always talked about the real truth about what happened here. Putin didn't just wake up, 2 years ago and attack. West Ukraine was attacking East Ukraine for 8 years, and and by the time the special military operation started, they'd already killed 14,000 ethnic Russians from that area. So, but Russell Bentley in his last years, he was a correspondent for Sputnik News, and
I just realized I didn't turn on the Russian subtitles. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, okay. Well.
It's just a thing I forgot to do. Sorry about that.
These Vaniti people, we might get a Russian person speak and come. Maybe she'll visit here. Somebody, yeah, we know somebody who might now.
Gideon can speak Russian.
He's watching probably right now too.
He speaks Russian.
He does.
Yeah.
You can say, "Excuse us, we didn't have the subtitles turned on."
Извините, пожалуйста, for the subtitles.
His Russian's then about like mine.
Oh, hang on,
a few words here or there.
Yeah, hang on. I've got
Okay.
a couple other things to do. Sorry.
Jaws,
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as anybody that's watching the news a little bit more attentively, they've already found out that the United States has, the House of Representatives has signed this bill, and I think it's like 100 billion, but 60 billion of it is supposed to be earmarked for Ukraine. And what actually goes to Ukraine, I don't know, is a smaller portion, and the rest of it is going to be going to the United States military industrial complex. In other words, the people to make war. So that's why you said you saw the House of Representatives, at least mostly all the Democrats, some Republicans, they were all cheering, yay, and waving Ukrainian flags because that's the people that pays their political campaigns are, they're in bed with the people that make weapons because that's where all the money is at, and they pay the political campaigns for for these Congress people, and so they're gonna maybe have a good chance of staying in office or whatever positions they're in. Of course, then it has to go to the Senate, and it's I think it says here 23 billion goes to the United States to replenish its stock, but that doesn't mean that they're only getting 23 billion. I think it's like up to 40 billion that the U.S. is getting.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot.
Yeah, this is all just billions and billions, and it's all. This bill is also for Taiwan and for Israel and other things as well. So it's to make war, and that is the biggest political campaigner donors are the military-industrial complex to make war, and that's why America is perpetually at war, because that's how the politicians all stay in power, is to make war, and that's what it's all about. War, war, war. You also have the medical industrial complex, people like medications and vaccines and things. We shouldn't talk about it. Don't even open up your mouth, you guys. We're not allowed. We'll be kicked off of YouTube. But anyway, that's the medical industrial complex. And, that's one reason why I think Dave and I both are over here. At least I'm over here because of the medical industrial complex. And we talk about that some other times. We talk about it on Rumble. And for anybody that's new out there listening, a lot of time we'll be probably shutting off at some point in time, maybe much later into this video, and showing or talking about things that we're not allowed to show on YouTube, or else we'd get deleted. We get warnings, and we've been deleted anyway for things that we, they said we said, but we didn't. So that's how that is. But I think there's some sort of a deal whereby when this comes through, this money for Ukraine, and it's going to be kind of tricky because of the election, and there's a certain time, but it's like I said, it's a little bit tricky. They have the elections, I believe, on the 5th of November, and I think the earliest that Joe Biden can actually sign off on this, the money for Ukraine is on the 15th of November. However, if there's a new president that takes office, he's not inaugurated until January. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. And if you all remember that Donald Trump, he ripped up the transatlantic partnership, which basically is global fascism. And Trump ripped it up. Thank God for that. And, if you know the real truth about that, it would be like if people got vaccinated, for example, and this is not anything to do with COVID, but if one part of this thing, because it was before COVID, if you get vaccinated and say, for example, you have a classroom of children and 20 of them all died from the vaccine, whatever vaccine they were going to get, you have no recourse to get your money back. If you get your child back, of course, you can't get your child back. And it's basically just get lost. That was going to be things. Money trumps over everything from the transatlantic partnership. So it was a good thing he ripped that up. In other words, it would have been fascism. So now Marjorie Taylor Greene is another person. She is not for all this money, especially going to Ukraine. And we have a video of her as well. But she was really furious about this. And, if you listen to what she has to say, it'll be very enlightening for a lot of people. She's, also a Trump supporter, but there's a number of people that feel the same way as her. So she's, I don't know, Dave's looking for that. Dave's overwhelmed getting these subtitles up here.
Subtitles aren't working for some reason, so.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And I'd like to take a little time to respond to some misinformation that has been spread here. Mr. Snyder, you said in your opening statement that the fact that there are neo-Nazis in the Ukrainian military is disinformation, a disinformation trope, and a Russian denazification meme. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit for the record this 2021 Time magazine article titled How a White Supremacist Militia Uses Facebook to Radicalize and Train New Members about the Ukrainian neo-Nazi Azov Battalion.
Without objections ordered.
Thank you. Time also put together a piece only 3 years ago, and it's quite an extensive video that gives full information about the Nazis in Ukraine and their recruitment efforts that go all around the world. It's amazing to me that just in a few years' time, it's now considered misinformation to talk about the Nazis in Ukraine. I'd like to quote the article. It says that Ali Sufan, a security consultant and former FBI agent who has studied Azov Nazis, estimates that more than 17,000 foreign fighters have come to Ukraine over the past 6 years from 50 countries. According to Christopher Wray, the FBI director, he said that Azov has been recruiting and radicalizing and training American citizens for years. He also finished saying in his testimony to the U.S. Senate that American white supremacists are actually traveling overseas to train. This is an extremely concerning situation. I don't think anyone in the United States government, Americans, do not support actual Nazis or white supremacists. I know I certainly do not. And I can't understand why in just a short amount of time, this information that our own American media frequently talked about is no longer talked about. I'd like to point out also, here's an NBC article stating that Ukraine's Nazi problem is real. Mr. Snyder, do you see this headline? This is NBC News. They say that Ukraine's Nazi problem is real, even if Putin's denazification claim is not. So even our own American media, unless you consider NBC or Time Magazine misinformation spreaders or disinformation media outlets, this is contrary to what you testified. And there's frequent pictures all over. Anybody can find them of Nazis. Here they are.
And Tucker Carlson said there's no Nazis, remember?
Yes, Tucker Carlson. Now that was a shocker.
He was on Joe Rogan a couple of days ago, and he said he's got no email. He doesn't look on the internet at all. So he's only relying on someone else that's telling him all this stuff.
Yeah, it was so, whenever I remember watching his show, I was thinking, how can he possibly keep up with all the stuff and everything when he's not even on the internet?
Yeah.
He's definitely got.
I was thinking, is that because, is he not on the internet because then they can't hack his computers and put kid porn on it?
Well, that's also a thought.
Yeah, there's a thought there.
Possibly he got an insider who always help how with most of
he's got a staff and all that, but he was on this program we saw, and he said he didn't understand why Putin said there was Nazis in Ukraine, and we were like, what?
Yeah, he says Nazis. He said that's from Germany. There's no Nazis.
Nazis are Germany's though.
Yeah, he was talking about it in the night. I bet everybody knows, and well, anybody keeps up on the news. There's people, and they admit that they're Nazis, and we're talking thousands and thousands of them in Ukraine. It's just a fact. And it's like Tucker Carlson doesn't. We were in shock when we saw that.
Yeah, he said he only uses text, SMS.
Huh. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
See, out of Hitler's Germany from Ukraine. And this is something that's extremely important to talk about. According to the Council of Europe, however, Ukraine is ranked well in the top half of countries in terms of how corrupt they are. In the last 5 years, Ukraine is ranked close to the countries like Gambia, Iran, Myanmar, and Sierra Leone in corruption. That's not very free and democratic company to keep.
That's my country.
No! Get out of here!
Now, what was he saying? There's no democracy there or something. Is that what they were saying?
I could not hear what I just said.
Gambia.
Well, I'll tell you what. The country I come from, my citizenship, it's rated the second most dangerous country on earth. So, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Not allowed different types of religion unless it goes along with the Ukrainian government. And right now, the biggest push in Washington, D.C. is to fund the Ukraine war with another $60 billion. And while we're talking about the CCP, I think it's extremely important to point out that our own wide open border is the most dangerous threat to our national security. According to CBP data, there have been 24,296 Chinese nationals enter the United States at the southern border just this year in 2024. I want you to know that's up 7,000% since Biden took office in 2021, when only 342 Chinese nationals crossed our border. When we're talking about national security and talking about threats through the United States, Congress needs to remember that our open border is the greatest threat to the American people who, by the way, Monday was tax day, April 15th, when struggling Americans pulled together to pay their taxes or filed for extensions or paid money that they just didn't have and desperately are hoping for a tax return. The United States federal government is doing everything they can here in Congress, persuading members of Congress with every lobbyist from foreign countries and groups, trying to tell us to send $100 billion overseas, and we're doing nothing for our border. So when you want to talk about misinformation, Mr. Snyder, you might actually look a little closer to American media if you don't like what they're saying. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
Mr. Anderson.
But most of it is staying in the US, going to weapons manufacturers.
Military industrial complex. That's what it's all about, baby.
Yeah. That's a lot of money, actually. This is most likely the taxpayers' money. This is money that does not even include the people who are even. It's more like pumping into to these countries and then maybe going back to some other people's pockets.
Yeah, it's like, why are my taxes going up? Why don't I have enough money? Why are all the food prices going up? Yeah. Well, I guess it's to give it to Ukraine, because we want to defeat Russia, because then we can go in and take over Russia's resources and have the companies that funded all this get even richer. But none of that's going to go back to the American people. It's just going to make the companies richer, unless you're working for one of those companies.
That's never going to happen, Adam.
Yeah,
I don't know whether I'm allowed to say that on the internet, but that's not going to happen. Like, no matter how much Ukraine is like one small tiny country for Russia. Basically, if Russia want to, get over Ukraine, sorry, but that's going to be like quick. Basically, Russia is really more focused right now in a lot of things that would help build the economy of Russia. Russia is really partnering with a lot of countries, a lot of countries in African continent, in the Asian continent. And while the Americans and then the Ukrainians are busy trying to, bring more weapons to Ukraine and more money and more Nazis, whatever they call them right now.
Weapons to Israel, weapons to Ukraine, weapons
exactly.
to Taiwan.
This is really getting the American is owing the World Bank every day is over billions of dollars.
What you don't know is now they're sending a lot of weapons to Argentina. They're going to send weapons to Armenia. They're going to send they're sending more weapons to North Korea. I think now they're sending weapons to the Philippines, because it makes money.
And the question becomes like, are that's going to be paid one time at all?
Huh? Because not all that. No,
never.
That's going to be paid. Well, at least the Ukraine money. It's like all these years it was going like about every 2 weeks to 10 days they were sending 350 million to Ukraine. So it goes over the course of the next year, but a lot of people are saying that's only enough money to make it through the summer offensive that Zelensky has promised. So, well, yeah. But anyway, another thing before we close out with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she actually wrote this, but obviously it's kind of a joke, that it's an amendment to this thing, and of course they're not going to add it, but it says every congressman that signs on to this bill has to go and join up with the Ukrainian military and go fight the Russians over there. So, but every congressman. So anyhow, but John Mark Dugan, he was actually.
Someone was Indy on the chat was just saying, don't forget about the Azov battalion as well in Ukraine. They're still going.
Yeah, they're still going. As a matter of fact, they just built a lot of defenses, I guess, in Kharkov, because they're expecting a big attack from Russia in Kharkiv, and I guess they fortified the inside of Kharkiv. At least that's the word that's been put out. So, Yeah, but of course they're still active, and even a lot of the Ukrainians now are getting pissed off about the Azov battalion. But and a lot of them, I think there's even some of these other Nazis. I don't know if it's the Azovs, but other Nazi battalions and groups or something. One of them, I guess, an entire I don't know. I guess it was a battalion, which is maybe 1,000 soldiers. They surrendered to the Russians.
Yeah, they've had enough.
Wow.
The thing is, Nazis in the previous years were too powerful. That's the whole fact, right? Nazis today is like a small body of a team that is just coming in to help. Russia today is 3 times bigger than Germany. Like, mention that. That's many. Russia is bigger than Europe, like 4 or 5 times put it together. You know, honestly, it's a threat to the national security, like basically in the war. And also, if you check them involving all these people is just going to add more wounds to the Ukrainians because they are losing their land.
Yeah, they don't care. Zelensky doesn't care. He cares
Zelensky
about money.
Doesn't care, but the
they
people
all care
do
about
care.
money. They don't care about all the regular people dying.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
They don't care because they are politicians, but the people who live in there are fearing for their lives. Some couple of weeks ago or months ago, some of the soldiers have to surrender to the Russians because they are tired.
Oh, well,
they don't want to
surrendering.
fight. You know, so you can see that the tension is too much.
But normally, there's somebody there waiting with a gun, and if they even look like they're going to surrender, they kill them in Ukraine.
I watched this on Instagram some time ago that some of these Ukrainians that were captive at Russia were all released by the Russians. Yeah, they free them after some couple of months or years and stuff like that. You know, I think this politics of pumping money to Ukraine is just too much right now.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, we have. Well, let's see. Let's talk a little bit more about the older Nazis. Well, in line with today, we have a video from John Mark Dugan, and he, of course, was deleted from YouTube. He was talking about really sensitive stuff, and he's made documentaries, and of course, people that have gotten assassinated by the Ukrainians. He's known them, and he's worked with them, and they're in his documentaries. They were partners. So, I think what was her name? I always get her name mixed up. Dugina, Daria Dugina. He did documentaries with her, and he's a former police officer and U.S. Marine, and of course he's on television in Russia all the time as well. So he lives in Russia, and he's exposed a lot of stuff. And here he is about some new documents that have been recently released for people.
In 1943, as Germany faced major defeats, they claimed to have found a mass grave of Polish soldiers killed by Russians in 1940. Propaganda to turn the Poles against the advancing Soviets. Now, since joining NATO, Poland has served as a shield for Germany, despite historical resentments. That same year, the Ukrainian insurgent army, formed by Nazi collaborators like Roman Shukevich and Stefan Bandera, committed the Volyn massacre, genocide of tens of thousands of Poles in western Ukraine. Shockingly, these Nazi criminals are glorified as heroes in Ukraine, with streets and monuments named after them. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Yet Poland supports Ukraine against Russia, suppressing the glorification of Polish murders. Warsaw also covers up the 1941 execution of over 10,000 Polish POWs by Germans near Katyn instead of blaming Soviets,
near Minsk,
so as not to upset their German NATO partners. Poland is economically dependent on Germany, having received 195 billion euros. That's right, from the EU, with Germany as the largest donor. But they can't give to NATO between 2004 and 2021. And this explains Poland's loyalty to the murderers of their ancestors. Last week, archival documents were published that once again exposed fascist propaganda, which is still widely believed in Europe and used against Russia. Now, welcome to the West. I'm John Mark Dugan, and thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that's where Dave and I were just visiting.
No, there's another place in Poland the same as well.
Wait, called Katyn?
Yeah.
So he's not talking about the one near Minsk?
No, he's talking about near Poland.
Wow.
Oh, in Poland, yeah.
2 Katyns, huh?
Yeah, because that's where that Polish president and someone else died. Remember the plane crash? They were going there?
No, I didn't.
They blamed the Russians.
Oh, a long, long time ago, huh?
Yeah, years ago.
that is okay. Well, I guess you learn something new every day.
I just fact checked you.
Yeah, you did. Okay. Another thing, I guess somebody fact checked the Germany, and Putin did not kidnap 160 children and take them to Russia. Ukrainian children, by the way. It turns out that these 160 children turned up in Germany, and of course, actually, they're through the EU. Most of them in Germany, and as everybody knows, Putin has been called like a wanted criminal by the ICC, the International Criminal Court.
They've also said President Lukashenko's been stealing children as well, which is bullshit.
Yeah. I think he even preempted that. He said, "Yeah, I'm going to be charged with that too," and of course he was. So I don't know. I guess if you're taking children from a war zone, and especially if I may not be able to say certain things like this on YouTube, but if you find out what Ukraine has been doing with children, it would really, really appall you. So, like I said, we probably can't talk about that, but even the accusations that they use against Vladimir Putin and Lukashenko are mild compared to what happens to children in Ukraine, in truth. And I tell you what, if I hear that Vladimir Putin or Lukashenko or anybody took 160 children from Ukraine, I would be very happy, because even the parents of like, say, for example, this part I can say, in the Kharkiv region, like recruiters or military would come through, and they would try to evacuate these families, but the parents had to stay and the children were evacuated, and a lot of these people never saw their children again, at least not till yet.
The EU's also taken the kids off Ukrainian families as well in the EU.
Yeah, I've heard about that too, but a lot of time they say it was, I don't know if it's true or not, or like neglect and mistreatment of the children or something.
Yeah, but according to EU rules, they might have like slapped the kid or something, when that's against the law in the EU.
Yeah, well, a lot of Ukrainians are doing a lot of crazy stuff in a lot of countries. I don't know if they're emboldened because they're told that they're special, and they are. I'm not saying they're told they're the master race, like Adolf would say, But anyway, they're getting away with thinking they're getting away with a lot of stuff. And matter of fact, a lot of time they are, especially in Germany. I noticed when I was over there, if you're a refugee from the Middle East or anywhere, probably not Africa, they would probably do something to Africans, but or from any other white-skinned people from like the U.S. or whatever, if you do something wrong. But the other ones, they didn't even charge them for any kind of crime. They just let them go. But in this case, as far as these children, discovering that these children did not get kidnapped and taken to Russia, this is from the German Federal Criminal Police, the BKA, that's confirmed this and said, yes, we found these children and they're in Germany and in parts of the EU, not in Russia. So that's a good part right there.
Putin snuck them back into the country.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe through Ukraine, because Ukraine can do that because they're rated as one of the most corrupt countries on earth, as a lot of people say. Yes.
I thought they were the most democratic.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, that was this month. I'm talking about a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, even worse than those acts. Ukraine has been again starting to shell the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. And why would Ukraine risk a humanitarian catastrophe? We have a photo, at least, from Maria Zakharova, and she says why they would do this, and I can read it. Without realizing it, they expressed themselves in the form of an ultimatum, she says. Hand over control over the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant and the shelling will stop. End quote. In other words, they said it exactly. Hand it over and we'll stop shelling it. Of course, they'll stop shelling it because then it will be theirs. And she says, I think it speaks eloquently about what is happening. But I'll tell you what I saw before, and this was months ago, we reported this, that a lot of this, Germany's closing down all their nuclear power plants. And the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe is the Zaporozhye power plant. And a lot of their nuclear energy was earmarked to be going to Germany. So that's, I guess, one reason why Germany is is helping out with this war too. Amongst other things, they have nickel deposits and all sorts of other things that Germany wants, and of course some coal, things like that. Yes. Now let's switch to our crazy man of the other hemisphere, Milai. We have a photo of him looking crazier than ever.
No, I'm going to interrupt you.
You are.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Damn you anyway.
Yes, I've got some Ukrainian videos which we were going to have a look at.
I still had a little bit more about Ukraine
you?
later, but I mean,
okay.
not just a little bit later. Nothing really important.
Then we'll do yours. Then. Okay.
Well, you can go to yours.
No.
I insist.
No, it's too late. It's too late. I don't want to do it now.
I don't want to do it now.
I don't want to do it now. Okay, go.
Okay.
Let's talk about the crazy Argentinian.
Oh, this guy! I tell you what. Well, we got a picture of him looking crazier than ever. Look at this guy. Whoa! He looks like I don't know what he looks like, to be honest with you. But he's got a ribbon around his shoulder, so he must be somebody important.
Yeah, that makes you important.
I think isn't that a Miss America? No, anyway, it's not. He doesn't. Maybe he's a transgender, but we can't talk about that on YouTube. So don't be making me say that stuff anymore. Okay, but anyway, he, as everybody remembers, he's dropping out of bricks, and I don't even know who elected this guy. And
the CIA.
He wears sideburns. He's dropping out of bricks, and I think he wanted to switch to the U.S. dollar, and now he wants to join NATO.
He wants to become Jewish.
Oh, yeah. Right after he got elected, he jumped on an airplane and said, "I want to be Jewish." And I don't think he knows which country he's leading. Is he leading in Israel or the United States or or Ukraine? I don't know, because he wants to be an anti-Russia. Oh, plus he got rid of I think he gave all of the old Soviet style sort of things, even though they're not that old, his military equipment, and he's going to go buy American, military equipment. So I don't know that this guy. He's just, I don't know. As a matter of fact, inflation, you were even mentioning it to me.
Yeah, it's over 20%.
Really high inflation. So I guess people
maybe it's 200%.
Yeah. Argentina's always had some crazy economics there, and he's not going to help it very much, it looks like. So, yeah. So, but he's expanding the military just like a lot of other people are, so because they're going to go after Russia. We got to get Russia.
Sorry, it's 275%.
That's it? 275% inflation.
Yeah, it's the world's highest inflation.
Is Argentina?
So he's number one on that.
Oh, he's a winner.
He's a winner.
That's why he's got that ribbon around his shoulder, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So he's a winner. Okay. Yes. Okay.
And it's forecast. Oh, it's forecast to drop to 175%.
175. Oh, wow. Yeah. So he's going to get it way down. Yeah. Anyway, well, he's building this military not aimed at Russia or Iran or China. There's too far. Therefore, China.
Iran is not a country of target, though.
What's it?
Iran is not a country of target right now. If he is preparing himself for military bases and stuff like that, Iran is like the last option that he have to target right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, China is now. They just announced they're revamping their military again. I guess the last time was 2015, and now they're doing it again. They're rearranging a lot of stuff and going to be modernizing even more. So
Iran is really very powerful.
Yeah.
It's one of the most powerful within the Middle East.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Yes, they always have this slogan that we have nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So meaning it's either dead or life. So you don't joke with people.
Well, that's why the U.S. hasn't attacked them.
No, they will not, because Iranian people think that they're already dead. They think they're already dead. So you cannot touch a dead man. A dead man is like somebody who just knock me off, I kick you off. So whoever retaliates back to Iran is like you are creating a war on yourself. So that's how it is directly for Iran. They don't have anything to lose. The people they have lived in that fear for long, and now they have no fear anymore. What has happened to Iran many years ago?
Ansar Alam in Yemen, those people.
So I'm saying, so what happened to these people many years ago? They don't want that to happen again. That's why they are mostly specialized in creating a lot of military equipments. They have military equipments way worse than the Americans military have.
Well, I'll tell you what, the threats that the USA and Israel and a lot of the other allies have been making on a lot of these Islamic nations, you know, they're a lot of these people, I mean, they've been conditioned and hardened over decades. The Palestinians, Ansar Allah, and oh, I skipped that wrong. And of course the Iranians, you know, sanctions and, you know, threats.
That's what I'm saying. So
decades and decades.
The Prime Minister of Israel asking the US to uplift the sanctions to Iran will do nothing to Iran. Iran have been sanctioned for many years so far, and they don't care actually. They have them own living. So that's what I'm saying. It's more like a dead man walking. You know, you can, if you use this paper that, you know, it's like when you put a paper on the water, you're just wasting your time. This is just, I don't think it's just going to sweep. Yeah. So that's basically for Iran. And Israel striking back to Iran some couple of days ago is not really a very good idea.
Yeah, we'll get into a little bit of that soon. But Sergei Lavrov just did a major press interview. And in that interview, he talked about, you know, NATO and Ukraine. And on the other, you know, we can see that video. And then we'll hear about Boris Johnson after that one. You know, the guy with the mop hairdo.
My former prime minister.
Yes. Yeah.
Some people in the US and Europe said that if they accepted Ukraine to NATO, Putin would not attack it. And now they say that Ukraine cannot be defeated because after that Putin is going to attack NATO. You can see the logic.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter what.
This is their only objective. I don't know how to comment on that, really. There was a commander from Norway, and he was speaking about confrontation with Russia in the Arctic. They expect something from us everywhere. Mr. Putin said many times that there is no sense in attacking them for us. If they would like to bring the NATO borders closer to our borders, we will not allow to do this in Ukraine.
Yeah, that's a no-no. That's a red line.
So NATO should not give a try on that. It's not give a try on that. It's more like just going to put your toilet back on somebody's house. That's like, no, it's not possible. It's not working for me. You know, I always try to ask these questions though. Why is it that, is it NATO, is it America? Why are they building military bases on people's land, on people's border? What for?
Well, or in the land, they threaten people. Look at they start off a lot of time as some sort of a peacekeepers or whatever, training or whatever. Then of course the military base goes up, and look at, you know, a lot of that stuff in Syria.
They just left and got kicked out of Niger.
Niger, just like a few days ago.
Yeah.
Well, the Russians are. I mean, the
Russians
Africans,
are
the Africans aren't messing around. They're getting rid of the French, and they're getting rid of the Americans.
The French are gone like many weeks ago, months ago.
Yeah.
Now the Americans are totally off. It's not just Niger. I think there's another country too.
Yeah, I think Mali's about to do it as well, and a few others.
Aside, Mali have done it that was a long time ago. There's a new country. It's an African country. They've also kicked off the American soldiers from them. I forget this country. Yeah, I forget this country. This was like 2-3 days ago. 4 days ago. Yeah, they just kicked them off from the country.
Yeah, there might have been another one.
Yeah, there's another one that kicked them off. Actually, Africans are literally getting off these people like out. You know, I watched this other video on TikTok where is it in Israel? I don't know where. I'm not sure. No, it's not there. This is the American soldiers and then the Ukrainian. So the American soldiers and the Russian soldiers clash on a border where the American soldiers block the road for the Russians to be able to pass.
Yeah,
it's a border where I'm not sure. I watched them on TikTok some couple of days ago.
Well, we have Boris Johnson talking about NATO too. He's not even in any political position, is he? He's being honest in this video. If let's see, you have that. We have that one, right?
Yeah, sorry, I'm still working on the
the subtitles.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my
If
God.
Ukraine falls, it will be a catastrophe for the West. It will be the end
No,
of Western hegemony.
Yeah, that's true.
and
But the
we will have
catastrophe,
no one to blame but ourselves.
Exactly.
I don't like this guy.
I don't like him either, but it will be a catastrophe. That, of course, is not true. It won't be a catastrophe, but it will be the end of Western hegemony in a lot of places. It already is. Look at, we were just talking right before this about Western hegemony in Africa. It's ending. And but that's not just it. You know, the United States is gaining ground in a lot of places, like, for example, obviously Switzerland used to be neutral, but they're not anymore. It was in that same interview. If people want to see that Lavrov interview, they can find that he talks about Switzerland, and Switzerland is now on the side of the West. They're not neutral any longer. And Armenia is another one. Armenia, you know, and Russia is also talking a lot about that. And they say, okay, you guys just want to be that way. And Armenian president, we were just talking about it in the last show, he's blaming Russia. And the people of Armenia are blaming their leader. You know, it's not Russia. So Russia lost lives. They lost soldiers trying to defend Armenia just recently, you know, against their skirmishes against Azerbaijan, even though Russia is not an enemy of Azerbaijan. And talking about Azerbaijan, I think they've even offered Israel the use of their military bases to bomb Iran if they want to. So this is all kind of up in the air stuff. Sometimes you never know what Turkey's doing. Erdogan, they call him a loose cannon, so you never know which side he's going to be switching on. And it looks like Azerbaijan has a little bit of that too. But at least we know that Armenia is trying now to go on the side of NATO. And the U.S., of course, has either threatened them or bribed them, or a little bit of both. So, you know, they're not in a position to become good friends with the United States, because that won't last very long. You know, if you look on a map, you can see why. So, yes, and we mentioned last show that Palestinian statehood was to come to a vote in the UN Security Council, and we said, you know, they're not gonna get it. It's gonna be vetoed. I said it was either gonna be the U.S. or one of their puppets in the UN Security Council, and lo and behold, and we even have a little graphic that shows what the vote was, who voted for and who voted against, and who abstained or whatever, you know, of statehood for Palestine. And lo and behold, look at Switzerland. They abstained. That shows kind of neutrality, but they're not neutral. You know, if they were neutral, all the other states, all the other countries voted for Palestine to have their own state. You know, except for, of course, Great Britain. You know, that's your old state. And yeah, and the United States, of course, blocked it. They vetoed it. And everybody's talking about that, how, how the U.S. is, and Great Britain, as you know. And when you talk about like the Balfour Declaration, originally Palestine was supposed to be going to the French. What's really weird, that was part of the Sykes-Picot Agreement, actually, where there was two like foreign ministers, so to speak, one from France and one from Britain, and it was a secret agreement. And Vladimir Lenin of the Soviet Union, he exposed this, and it was actually France and Britain splitting up a lot of the lands, and on the list it was Palestine to go to France, and it actually didn't, which was very strange. And so they sold that land, or they dealt. They sort of made a deal with the Zionists, even with the Rothschild family, and yeah, they basically kind of gave or sold that land to the Zionist Jews, and then they started systematically getting rid of all the Palestinians.
So France really voted for Palestinian to be a nation.
Yeah, amazing, huh?
That's amazing. That's surprising.
Well, a lot of times they talk about this beforehand, and everybody knows how everybody's. They normally know exactly how everybody's going to vote before the vote. Yeah. And of course, the United States probably said, "Okay, we'll be the ones, and we'll vote against it." And France, you can vote for it to make yourself, Macron probably said to make it look good. Say, "Look at we like the Palestinians," So that's what that's all about. And yeah, but Switzerland also. You got to remember that's the land of the World Economic Forum. So that's where they meet. You know, where Klaus Schwab, we can put the computer chips in the brains, and
he's in hospital.
Is he really? Did he get a computer chip in his brain? Or what's he doing there?
He's sick.
Oh, maybe somebody penetrated his cabinet or something. And he's we've penetrated the cabinets, the young leaders.
Rumor has it Tony Blair's going to take his position.
Really? No. I think it has to be probably somebody who's been like a real high member of the WEF all that time, right?
Well, Tony Blair.
Has he really? Tony Blair. He was supposed to be the envoy for Palestine too.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, but he was in name, but I don't think Palestine really appreciated that.
No.
But anyway, on the recent country that voted for statehood, they said as a matter of fact, they said they recognized Palestine as an independent state is Barbados, right near where I come from. And there is 11 countries already in the CARICOM, the Caribbean community, that have voted for statehood for Palestine. And also St. Vincent and the Grenadines is one of them, by the way. So I don't know how many people on earth, or how many countries is what I mean, have already said that they vote for Palestine to be a country. So I can imagine it's not a small number. Yes. Other people that don't really like what's going on is the people in Google. So the Google employees also
wearing masks.
Jeez, I guess they still have COVID
because they work well and they're wonderful things to have. Because we're on YouTube.
Okay, well, masks. We all love masks. We all do that. I mean, since we don't have to wear them in public, I wear them around my house. I wear them in bed. And all this. Yes, I wear them.
No more genocide for profit.
No more. Yeah. I even wear a mask on my backside, and my front side sometimes underneath my pants.
No cloud appetite.
Love mask. Love mask. No cloud. Google. There's some guy with an LGBT kind of looking type flag back there. I don't know if it is or not. So, I don't know. Anyway, but those are the Google people. There's a lot of brilliant people in Google, to be honest with you, and a lot of them are
all these tech companies have got too many people. You need to get rid of most of them.
Yeah, that's
like Elon did.
Elon Musk and a lot of people, like you did.
Yeah. Get rid of them.
Dave has a company in a tech company kind of in the United States. And he's the only employee, and he lives over here. To be honest, that's the truth. That's the honest to God truth.
Yes,
that's wonderful. You don't want to have a lot of stress on people that they cannot do your job on time, though.
Yeah, I went to.
He's always on time.
Yeah, always on time. I went to I was in London, and headhunters called me in, for a job, and I went in there, and into this company, and they wanted as a chief technology officer. Anyway, the money was £300,000 a year, pounds. Good money.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah. And they started going through what I'd have to do, and manage this, manage these people. And I halfway through, I said, "Oh, stop!" And they went, "What?" I said, "That's not enough money for that. Sorry." And I left.
Oh, wow.
No, I hate it.
Yeah.
No, because people bring all their BS from home and all that. You got to deal with that at work. I just can't be bothered anymore.
Bunch of weirdos.
Yeah. So any company now any company I've got now, I've no people.
Wow.
I can find myself. That's it.
Yeah, but Google, they even made a facial recognition tech contract with Israel for $1.2 billion.
It's the same one they use in China.
Yeah, well, that's I guess why these people were, main reason why these guys were protesting is because they didn't like that stuff. Northrop Grumman. Part of the U.S. military-industrial complex has its latest underwater drone. It's called a Mantra Ray, and it looks like something that maybe I shouldn't talk about what I've seen in toilets before. But anyway, that's what it looks like.
It just looks like a torpedo.
Well, looks like something I've seen in a toilet before, but somebody didn't flush. But anyway, that's what they looked like.
And what's
drones. It goes around and around and
around. No, because Russia.
Oh, the drone. No. Oh, I thought you were talking about the thing in the toilet.
No, because Russia's got the Poseidon. which has got a nuclear weapon in it to make tsunamis.
Oh, yeah, I think the Russian one is a lot more powerful than this one. I don't know what this one does, but I just, saw this and it was, it wasn't as impressive as the Russian one, I'll say that. And, then they listed a lot of these other countries that are making these drones. And
So has the US got underwater drone envy?
Mine is bigger than yours. So maybe that's why they made it so long, because yeah, look at that. Oh man, what a nice one. Yeah, I think they're going on, what's that site, Only Fans or something?
Only Drones.
Only Drones. Yeah, or something like that.
Speaking of OnlyFans, you've seen this AI girls and AI sex.
Oh,
you can just type in and these AI girls do whatever you want, and they're saying now that that'll put all the real girls out of business.
Damn those real girls.
OnlyFans, a lot of people are making money. Last time I was checking some kind of video, like he was like, he's making $250,000 a year on OnlyFans.
Yeah, not everybody, but yeah, some
of them are doing some cash in that.
Yeah.
I'll bet you if you get a...
That's like dancing for some...
I'll bet you Gideon over there, he can put on some lipstick and put a wig on him, and you can film him, make some money on that.
Live stream.
I'll be like, my international sales department in the real estate is now doing OnlyFans.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't pay him enough.
Yeah. Atlantic Magazine announced that they're going after Trump. They're trying to give instructions on all these other tech people and media outlets to talk. To say everything about Trump is not normal. They're trying to ramp up the propaganda to make Trump unappealing. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, that's what they did. A lot of stuff they did that in Belarus, and I think that is the way they did it to get people to dislike Lukashenko. That's one of the main things. In Poland, it mostly went through Poland, a lot of this stuff, and they said they're so successful in propagandizing the youth of Belarus that they said they're going to be expanding it. And I don't know what that meant, if they're going into other countries or expand it more in Belarus or whatever.
One thing I know for sure, Trump is a very powerful speaker. And he always say this, he's a businessman, and he got nothing to hide though. And basically, I like him for a reason. I think he's the only president that I've known that who speaks a very clean English, plain one.
Well, he doesn't beat around the bush and tell lies.
He's more straight to the point. Yeah,
he doesn't deceive. And like Biden and Blinken, Biden's entire team are nothing but a bunch of people that deceive people. It's like a breath of fresh air when you see Trump or Marjorie Taylor Greene.
He got nothing to lose, actually.
And he's thinking of Tulsi Gabbard for a vice president. Now she'll be great too.
I watched one of his funny video. He was like, "If I become a president again, I just want to be a dictator just for one day. I want to go build all the walls between Mexico and America. I'm done."
Yeah.
Just one day dictatorship, one day.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Wow.
On the video, he said, "I just want to be a dictator just for one day. I'm good."
Oh,
okay.
Like, okay. Yeah.
Trump.
So we also have now, there's Israel's Maariv newspaper has admitted that 84% of Iranian drones were successful. Meanwhile,
not 99% as they were reporting.
Yeah. Well, they said, I think 84%.
No.
You mean before?
Yeah, before they were saying 99%.
99%. Ha ha ha. They were kind of laughing. And then, of course, you can see satellite imagery where they did some real damage to like an airfield or something.
A lot of damage. And I also heard that they have strike back, or they want to strike back. I think I saw that on TikTok like two days ago.
Iran, you mean?
No, the Israelis.
Well, they did try to strike back. Did you know that?
They
yesterday?
did. No, they strike back, yes, but nothing was successful.
Yeah, they did, but they didn't.
Yeah, nothing was successful though.
I think the Iranian foreign minister said it was children's toys. They were.
Yeah, something like that. And that's the point right now. I'm saying attacking Iran is like causing chaos in the whole of the Middle East, and all those who are in the Middle East will be affected by this war, either they know it or not. So basically, that the Prime Minister of Israel, I don't know whether he thinks with the head or whether he thinks with the mind. I can really tell, because if he knows better, he should have understand that even the United States don't dare to attack Iran now. They are as much powerful as United States right now. They have they are just creating nuclear weapons every time. They are creating a lot of mass destruction weapons. They're creating a lot of things. So this is what I'm saying. Previous years ago, they have been under a very, very terrible war, and they don't want to go back into that again. So they find out that they have been prepared for many years, many, many years. So you don't just want to come one day and just attack them, like thinking you're gonna have something getting. The reason why is it that after Iran,
I have to do a fact check with you, because Iran hasn't got any nuclear weapons, and Khomeini made a fatwa saying no nuclear weapons. It's against Islam.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay. I thought you were saying Israel had nuclear weapons.
Oh
no,
Israel's got 200.
Yeah, because Iran.
Israel got
200.
They say at least 200. Some people say more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Pepe Escobar reported that Israel tried to, with their own F-35, take a nuke up to and do an EMP strike, but was shot down. But then Scott Ritter said that's BS.
Yeah, this is really some controversial news right now, what we're telling all of you listeners out there, because Pepe Escobar, I've been following him for years, and he's one of the best investigative journalists. I put him right around the same level almost as Seymour Hersh, who is the first one that reported what happened.
Yeah, Pepe said he's got three sources saying this, that
from different countries.
Yeah, F-35 with a nuke was shot down.
Yeah, it's very strange. Of course, the bomb didn't go off that the plane was carrying. Russia shot down this airplane. This is what Pepe Escobar is saying, and I'm not going to discount it, because I would never discount anything that Pepe Escobar says. He's also a very great author. He wrote Pipelinistan. I never read it, but I've read lots of parts of it, and it turns out that he did some really, really good research work. But in this case, he had a good source, and
3 sources.
Yeah, I mean, for one initially, and then I think then he had a second one from different countries, people that don't know each other, and they were saying the same information. And now he's almost, got all the information from a third source from another different country about the same thing, that this same thing happened. And these countries that are involved or linked to this, they all said that this is, such a, I don't know, how would you say this? An important piece of news or devastating or whatever, that they said that they're not going to let this get released of what really happened, and that what Israel was actually trying to do, and so I think that it's probably I'm just kind of, I don't know, Russia, if it was the US that would have shot it down, then it would have been like they planned it previously. So I don't know. I'm not saying this is a true thing. Scott Ritter, of course, was also very good, and he said, "Oh, Pepe Escobar he's a great journalist, but I think his source is lying to him." But like Dave just said, Pepe Escobar has 3 sources, and you can't divulge these sources, of course. And yeah, maybe we'll find out about this 5 more years from now. The real truth about this.
Well, it's like Texas, where we heard about his death a couple of days after he was missing.
Yeah, and Dave was criticized for mentioning
spreading Ukrainian propaganda.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it turned out to be true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you people out there,
our source was better.
Yeah, we've already announced things here, and then it came out in news 2 days later. So
exactly.
So it's amazing. We can sometimes get some things, but we get most of our news from other sources anyway. But sometimes we get it from sources, real sources. So sometimes, which is very good. So also in some other news, Anthony Blinken is on his way to China, and what is he going to do there? He's going to do the same thing as
going to warn him.
Yeah, he's going to threaten them. He's going to threaten them just like what's her name, Yellen, Janet Yellen did, and just like Kurt Campbell, who is Victoria Nuland's replacement. They're going to China. They've already gone to China to threaten that China is sending products to Russia that has components in it that possibly could be used in weapons.
Washing machines?
Yeah, like washing machines and refrigerators. And they could take the chips out of those and put them into some sort of military use or something. So stop it. In other words, and a lot of time they don't even know that if China is actually sending these products at all anyway. But they said, stop it for products that we don't know if you're sending or not.
Exactly.
All it is them trying to scare China, and and China's of course
Well,
laughing.
in that latest bill with the money for Ukraine and for Israel and for Taiwan, they also put in sanctions on China.
Oh, is that really? I didn't hear about that one. I heard that there's something even about ATACMS missiles going to Ukraine.
Yeah, they're going to get them out of storage in Germany and start delivering them next week.
So some of this stuff that nobody's even talking about, everybody's talking about the money, but no, there's other parts that are just as bad, right? Wow, sanctions on China even. I remember once.
And also in the bill was to steal the Russian assets.
Okay.
And sell them.
Oh, I thought that was a separate bill, but
no, I think it's in the same
it might have
one.
been a separate but part of the same bill, like they're separating it into parts.
Well, yeah. Well, they were all separate bills, but they all voted on them, and that was one of them.
Yeah, and
so they're going to steal. Well, they've already stolen, but they're going to sell them.
They stole Russia's money. You mean?
Well, they froze
assets?
it. And, now they're going to
froze it, and then they're going to be selling it.
So who in their right mind country would invest or put your money in the US or the EU if they do it?
Well, that's what the EU
UK.
is saying. Even Christine Lagarde, she's saying, don't do that because we're going to be the first that are going to be suffering from it, from the Russians, and the reputation of the US and even the EU is going to be very bad. Because in other words, you can't trust your money in the US anymore.
Not anymore.
So, and who was it that said Russia's actually, for the most part, even written off that money?
No, I said that the last show.
Yeah.
They've written off the money anyway, so.
Yeah, but it's still going to be symbolically.
And also there's more assets in Russia from the West that are worth more than...
I think, yeah, that's what she was talking about, Christine Lagarde.
Well.
It's European assets. I don't know how many assets the U.S. has in Russia.
Yeah. Well, they've probably got oil assets. Oil companies have got assets in Russia.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to find out that stuff.
And it's against international law to do that.
Well, that's the whole new rules-based international order, is that the U.S. makes the rules as they go along. There are no rules for them, and everybody else has to follow whatever the U.S. tells them to. That's the new rules-based. Yeah, international order means there's less rules and more of a jungle than there was before. Yes.
Well, the EU's a garden, isn't it?
Yeah, and all the rest of the people are a bunch of jungle. Stuff. But also remember what Kurt Campbell said. It was, I think, a week ago. The replacement, for Victoria Nuland, by the way. We want China to think very carefully about the way forward.
There you go. The US is going to resume military
China.
supplies by the end of the week, which will include these ATACMS.
By the end of the week?
To where?
Yeah, this week to Ukraine.
To the Ukraine?
Yeah, more ATACMS missiles.
Well, I've heard there's already evidence that ATACMS have been used.
They sunk a ship in Crimea today.
Who did?
The Ukrainians.
Another Russian ship, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
They target it?
They sunk it.
Sunk a ship. Navy ship.
In other words,
one from the First World War.
From the First World War, the old ship.
It's a salvage ship, and they sunk that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, with probably a British drone, like the British drones are, they're the ones doing all this stuff in the Crimea. The British.
Wow.
Damn you Brits over there.
It says here the US was shocked by Iran's retaliatory strike on Israel. The Biden administration was shocked at the scale of Iran's retaliatory missiles and drone barrage.
So it's like they haven't been paying attention to what we're...
Yeah, well, they used all their old stuff as well.
Yeah.
Iran.
Yeah, that's what a general put out.
They sacrificed the old drones to see where everything was. And then they used their old ballistic missiles and only a few new ones, which got through the Iron Dome system.
Yeah, they said all of the hypersonic missiles made it through and hit their targets. So the new ones were 100% accurate. Incredible.
So it cost them up to, like 10, 15 million Iran, but it cost Israel and the US and all that up
Billion.
300 billion.
Yeah. So turns out that Iran did pretty well. As far as Ukraine, Dmitry Medvedev said that the U.S. bastards. I can say that on YouTube.
Yes,
that's a quote. I didn't
because this show is not for kids.
Okay. The U.S. bastards' approval to send tens of billions more to Ukraine will not help Ukraine win, but only prolong the war and cause more death. What he meant by the U.S. bastards is the military-industrial complex, who are the men behind all the Congress people, like Lindsey Graham, who's also part of the military-industrial complex. Look at who his donors are. A lot of people don't realize, but what about Barack Obama? All the banks that fund and the money is run through, like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan Chase and all that. Obama was known as the bankers president because he had all the big banks were backing him, to become president. So he had a lot of money,
And I'm drinking out of my Iranian drone cup.
So cool. Oh, mine's at home. I guard that. I try to hide it so nobody else can use it. I'm kind of selfish that way. So, anyway, we were already talking a little bit earlier about the medical industrial complex. I wanted to get that out too. And Joe Biden, he's into that as well. He's got Rosemont Seneca, remember that investment company in Ukraine, and he invests, let's just say, in laboratories. That don't say anything more besides that, in some laboratories. And and what else? Medvedev also called the U.S. a despicable empire of evil of the 21st century. So he is actually, they play, Putin and Medvedev play good cop, bad cop, and Medvedev is the bad cop, the former guy. Oh yeah, and I already said that foreign minister is threatening Iran, Israel is threatening Iran with children's toys. And somebody in Israel, a famous politician, said the attack was lame, a lame attack. But you have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of what Israel was doing?
Have you seen this video?
No.
We'll get closer and I'll tell you what it is. It's Russia taking a leopard to Russia for...
I heard about it.
For display.
Another leopard. I forgot to add, the foreign minister of Iran also said, and this was really kind of surprising to me, that the Israeli drones took off from inside Iran.
There is this photo from a satellite of some sort of damage at a radar system in Iran from the Israeli strike. So, so there's a early warning radar system
from the Israeli strike.
Yeah,
I'm sure they did something. Of course, all these people, like all these countries downplay what's going on. And the foreign minister of Iran also said, we could have hit Haifa, we could have hit Tel Aviv, but didn't do so because targeting civilians is a red line for Tehran. But this is a very important point. And of course, Buba can, of course, agree with me on this, that it is strictly against Islam to kill innocent people, unlike the US, Israel, and others. And of course, we are told in the West that they want to strap bombs on themselves and kill themselves and kill innocent people at the same time. And of course, that's not part of Islam. So
most of these people that normally go against or using the name of Islam about going to bomb, it's Islamic in the religion. You don't actually target civilians to that.
They're not Islamic. They're not Muslims then.
No.
That's what all Muslims have told me.
These are mostly people that I always say they are sent by most of these top government officials who would just ask them to go and use the name of Islam just to, you know, to make the Muslims feel bad.
Yeah, just
that's
like,
why. Yeah, this is when the Poland prime minister was like, we don't want any Muslims in Poland. Like, all right, good luck on that.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can ask Israel how their policy is when they've killed now. Now they say it's up to 34,000 innocent people that Israel has wiped out in Palestine. So, and it took Ukraine, it took the nasties, the Nazis of Ukraine, it took them 8 years to kill 14,000 people in the Donbass. So, you know, like I always try to say, these people are from the same ideology. They just give themselves different names. You know, the Zionist regime of Israel and the regime of Ukraine are the same, identical people, but just with different names.
I forgot to put this up. This is in Congress when they passed the bill for Ukraine. Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing.
I was going to ask you if you had any of these. Cheering.
Yeah, with the Ukrainian flags.
Cheering and waving Ukrainian flags because they're going to kill more Ukrainians. Look at that. That's exactly what is actually they're cheering. The death of a whole bunch of Ukrainians. I mean, the Ukrainians should wake up and say, wait a minute, they're giving our government more bombs so that our government can send us to the front lines and all die so that all the rich people, the politicians can all, they can get all bigger houses and more properties overseas and get Bubba more work. You know, selling real estate.
Yeah, they're gonna invite me. So like, please come and help us build some part of this Ukrainian territory.
With that note, we can now go into the military. I mean, into the military real estate. I mean, the real estate sort of.
Military real estate.
Yeah.
Industrial complex.
Yeah.
Will I need a helmet for that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's all yours.
All right, thank you very much. Welcome to J Real Estate. Literally, we are a real estate travel agency and educational program company in Belarus that actually just not engage into real estate aspects alone. We will have some presentation to show. This is some of our website which we're gonna update some time from here because we're just still working on it. This the first part of it is source the travel agency, the second part of it source on the real estate, and the last part source the educational programs, which more sure we currently are deep into the educational programs a lot when it comes to, if you can click on the educational program right now, please. Yes, this is the educational programs that we engage on. If you scroll, we have some big partners of universities we are partnered with right now here in the city. You scroll down, you see most of the partners of the university that we are working with, and you know, it's been really a very good partnership with this company, with these institutions where a lot of Africans are studying right now. So basically,
you help people get in.
And
help them transition from their country to the universities.
Yes, it's basically when you finish your high school or you do your degree programs, you want to do your masters over here in Belarus. We help them to have a contract with this university to be able to study there for the whole of their
education.
Yes. So basically, that's what we do right now with the educational programs. Not much though. It's just to enroll students from Africa to help them have a direct access to the university, because most of this university will need someone to be, you know, backed by an agency which is registered and recognized in the Belarusian government over here. You know, this way they are able to enroll them here for safety and other guardians issues. You know. And talk less to the real estate. Today I'll be talking a little bit more about real estate. Please, there's a presentation that is off the website actually. This is the J real estate aspect where we are dealing with you know, first-time home buyers. You know, we working with property owners. We have not yet started development because we are just new in the market. We've been having some partners with property owners leasing most of their properties to be able to sell them. So on the website, all this information are not updated, but we have a presentation. I think I sent it to you, Dave. Yeah, so you can show on that presentation. This way they could be able to see exactly what we have exactly. Sorry, I'm having some very, very bad throat today. Cold. Yes. Okay, this is the J Real Estate. Let me say a little bit of introduction based on what we do here. That's my humble self down here. You can see.
I was looking in the bed. I didn't see you in there.
Yes, I have been into real estate for 11 years now. This is the 12th year globally, from Africa to Europe. Let me say England. I've been there for like a couple of years doing real estate. And some part of Angola, in Gambia, Senegal, Ghana, Nigeria, Tunisia, name them. Now that we're here, this is a little portfolio about what we are doing over Belarus here. If you scroll down, it will show you exactly the key service that we are offering right now. These are like leasings and sales. Possibly most of the property owners that we understand that in this country prefer to sell directly, and their property will be in the market for many years due to small market structure, because most of them are only based on marketing through the Belarusian territory, and which their market scales out of 100% is just like 2% of their market scales, because most of them prefer to put them on most of these Belarusian sites, like Kufar, all these is it Realty.buy, and though most of those ones are a little bit big in Belarus as local market, but they are not actually in the international market. We also do market analysis for most of our clients, actually, to see exactly what to do first before we go into the market trends and everything like that. We also do property and portfolio management, which is really one thing that we are actually specializing on, because people have to understand first us managing their property, selling them or leasing them or adding some values towards those property to be able to make a good sales on them before they even agree on most of this lease, or trying to partner with them most likely. So we have listed some other properties. If you can scroll that a little bit for me. So these are some of our client testimony, some of them who have buy homes outside the country actually. And scroll down a little bit. These are some of the testimony we have from some of the clients, and also some property. This is a lady who own a commercial property actually here in this country called Nastasia Vili. And this is most of our sales process timeline. Really not very, very important actually, but is we do client consultations, market analysis, price and listing agreements, and market promotions. Our more specialization right now is the property that we just offer currently right now, which if we scroll down please a little bit, exactly, I would a little bit talk a little about it, and then I'll allow Gideon to go on more about these properties. This is one of the first properties that we listed. It's like 30 minutes away from Belarus, from Minsk here, almost 26 kilometers.
Exactly.
One of the is a very, very, very good strategic point where the market sales value is really good. This property is going.
Excuse me, and for anybody out there, petrol here is very cheap.
Yes.
Well, no, compared to Europe and England and all that, it's much cheaper.
Honestly, let me tell you,
I fill up our 65-liter tank in the Audi, and it only costs us $48 US. So that's that.
Maybe way cheaper, because I am driving a Geely Emgrand, and full tank of the car is less than 100 rubles. That's like 40 liters.
Yeah.
And here they have a lot of specification of the gas, like they have the 92, they have 51, something
95,
like that.
yeah.
Exactly. I'm using the 92, but
also anywhere you go in the country, it's the same price.
Yes.
It's not like in the Western countries where you go somewhere else and it's different prices.
All the gas is the same price. It's cheap.
And I've also noticed the price hasn't changed, from my memory, at least for the last 3 or 4 years. It's been the same.
Exactly. Yeah. So gas here is not a problem. You can live anywhere part of this country in real estate, and you can drive anywhere. The one thing about it is there is no that much traffic.
And the roads are really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Both in the villages, the towns, and then all of these places.
All comfortable roads.
Yes. So especially this property that we just saw, this is property 1. The road network is okay. It's as quick as the map. If the map give you 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes. That's not
also, but you guys talking about gasoline prices, I can mention also they have, if you're lucky enough to be close enough to like where they have an electrical train going there. The electricity, they call it electricity train, I guess, if you translate it to English, is really cheap. Like you can go halfway across Belarus for, like in US, maybe $2.50.
Maybe less than that.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that.
Takes a little bit longer, but I tell you what, I went, back, Baranovichi is halfway to Brest. In other words, from Minsk, halfway to the border of Belarus.
About 180 kilometers.
Yeah, and it was like, that costs like, well, there's certain times a year, and then it's a little bit more at a different time, but it turns out that that's like $1.70.
Exactly.
Halfway across Belarus.
That's it, honestly.
Yeah.
And using a bus from this place to Minsk City is like 5 rubles
thereabout.
5 rubles 20 coins.
20 cents, yeah.
Yeah, and this is like $1, 50 pence, something like that. So basically basically is number one in this country. Internet is absolutely wonderful. It's like monthly subscriptions on your phone. It's like having Wi-Fi almost everywhere.
Yeah, well, we've got in the studio, we've got 1 gigabyte up and down, right? And it's only $23 a month. That's it. It's nothing.
My place is way cheaper than that. I'm paying 50 rubles every month in my house.
Yeah.
And that's like,
it depends on the speed, up and down speeds here.
Mine is quick, is fast.
Yeah, we've got 1 gigabyte here because we need it for the bandwidth.
So now,
and unlimited as well.
Anybody watching this show, if you've ever watched any of the other shows, when we have other guests from other countries, and we all are basically saying the same thing, that Belarus is very much overlooked because they give it a very bad name and very bad information in the West, and most of it is untrue. 99% of it is untrue. So it's a nice place to be. Crime virtually is non-existent.
Zero. Non-existent, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
nothing.
No homeless on the streets, no drug addicts on the streets.
No,
food is fresh and nice.
Yeah.
It's not plastic like in other countries.
Basically about that, people talking about Belarus. As I speak to you currently, by the end of this month, we are having one of the top builders in America coming to join our company on the 31st of this month. Basically, he's coming here on investment. I spoke to him on basic terms on Belarus, make some market analysis. He was like, you know what, I'm coming in, just let me know exactly what I'm supposed to do. So meaning like what the image that they're giving to people about Belarus and what we have here is quite different. And real estate in Belarus is really going at a very, very high speed right now. So in a couple of months it has crashed because of the sanctions. People don't have any idea on what to sell, and they don't know how to list their properties. And real estate owners were very confused because they are only fixed to the international market and also national market. So now immediately after that was caught, there was
no, we'll be back.
We have some more.
We're back.
We're back now?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Sorry about that. We crashed down.
Yeah, sorry about everybody. We had a technical issue. My camera made everything crash. So we're back. Anyway, you were speaking?
Yes. So basically, we in the couple of months from here, we'll be having a very mass development, which is going to be huge, because we are inviting one of our big time investor called Jeffrey Top. He owns Top Development East in America, in Thailand, in China, in Brazil, in Angola, in Ghana. He have over like 500 franchise companies. Internationally. So all this he's a builder. He's been in the building business for over like 45 years. And basically in the real estate industry in Belarus here, like the fear of people on the international market is the reason why people hardly sell their houses and their properties. But now people are buying a lot. And it gets to your surprise that properties are listed as low as $10,000, as low as $20,000, $15,000. And all these houses are like, mostly we call them country houses in some of the other countries though. But if you check the distance between them to Minsk, which is the main center, is nothing less than an hour or two, basically. Some of them is like less than an hour, 45 minutes, and then less over that. So if you can scroll down, this is property 2. This area, this location is located in Maxima Bazanovicha. This is like in the heart of Minsk. This is really like 10 minutes away from Dynamol. 15 minutes away from Galeria, actually. So this property is 2 in 1. The listing price is going for $250. There is a negotiation with the owner, actually. and it's a 3-bedroom. Let me say it's a 4-bedroom. There is a big penthouse, like room on the last floor. It's a very very open bedroom, and there is a kitchen downstairs. There's a play area. It's a very huge property, and two tenants can live this place at the same time. Though, as you all know, most of the time in Belarus, most of the houses are never completed. This is because there is a policy that they normally set on the government that the person who is going to live there, have to apply for some kind of I think some kind of legal documents to be able to complete whatever they want to put there if they want to stay there directly. Because if the new buyer come, he might want to change some 1 or 2 things inside. But this is almost a complete outside. Everything is just the interior, which is the ceiling, is to be fixed and all that. And we have another property to list that down. Is actually property is Minsk wall here from Dyna Holding, because the last time we had a conversation with them, had our contract with them, waiting for our last issued contract fine, but they have given us access to be able to sell their houses. This is the last. This is the property tree. We have almost like more than 20 houses in Minsk Hall here that we are actually selling. The listing price is $140,000. 3-bedroom houses, all fully furnished, prepared everything, and so far these are most of the houses that we have currently on the high sales. We have some townhouses. Obviously, we can actually get them showcased on the screen because most of them are on the link. But yeah, we have most of the houses in Prasnistria. We have some of them in Vitebsk. These are like under $20,000. 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and these are like more, we call them townhouses, which you can be able to buy here in Belarus as low as. So I would just give Gideon to elaborate a little bit more, because he's in the international sales side from Africa Connections to most of our international buyers directly.
Yeah. So basically, Buba has said a lot about our real estate aspect. So first of all, the problem is when we first came, to start the company, we had to research the market. What do Belarusians define real estate as? Because from a little bit of my studies, I've seen that like each part has like their own definition of real estate. So we came with like a different idea, a new terminology, a new different type of market. For our first property listing, actually, we're going to be having an open house concept. That was actually part of our big idea, still on ground, inviting different investors, to come see the place. This concept was a little bit abstract for them, but to us, it's like something that has been, it's usual everywhere, like open houses
in the West.
In the West,
exactly.
When we went to, I remember, when we went to one of this agency and said, look, we want to do an open house system where we invite a lot of people, come there, like the buyers, the agencies, the realtors, the financiers, the list, and they were like, what is that? I was like, okay, this is something that is, you can sell a house quick, like within a day or a week. Using an open house system, you invite top people, bankers, financiers, you invite investors.
They don't know much about the open house.
No, they don't. It's never happened here before.
No.
It's never happened. I've asked like top people, like the kind of
top companies,
realty.buy. They were like shocked when we mentioned to them open house system. They are very very eager to go into this to an extent that reality.buy was like, please, we want to sign a contract with your company to be able to initiate most of this initiation with all of. I said, the thing is not about the competition in the market. The competition is listing many houses.
Exactly.
And if you check to most of these websites, they have a lot of houses but no buyers.
No buyers.
So this absolutely the problem right now. We are trying to do a new market analysis, a new phrase of selling houses in Belarus quick, faster. Even you can do an online open house system where we go live, where we have also already invited our international buyers to tune on those properties, and whoever offer higher, go for the property actually. And it's easy, it's faster. It's instead of competing on how many houses you list in your website, it's best you just have, this open house and everybody sell. These are most of our property that we are listing. Dave is showing right now. We have almost like 4 to 5 properties that we listed in our portfolio presentation. These are all this last 3 properties are all in Minsk World, which actually are selling so fast. And we all know Minsk World is like one of the highest selling point around Belarus or Minsk here. Despite the houses are too small a little bit, but
that's where the studio is.
Yeah, exactly. This is how we the studio is right now. So people are actually going for them, but we want to just include the residential housing system, because the Minsk Wall is really dropping down the residential house system.
Exactly.
And people are not getting an ideas about those houses. I went to Lake 2. I don't know whether you guys know this place. There's a place called, it's a big lake around Minsk here, but it's Lake Piash 2. Diva?
Is that what they call the Minsk Sea?
No, the Minsk, I think that one is PS1.
Yeah, there's different players.
They have PS1, PS Adin, PS Diva, PS3, PS
5. Yeah.
PS 5, something like that.
Yeah.
So PS2 in that area, these are like one of the most richest Belarusians live there. Like the real estate industry in that area is mad. It's crazy.
It's all over the top. Yeah.
These are houses that are listed over like $500,000 to almost $1 million. And these are beautiful houses. That it's just like when you're going to Las Vegas in America, you see all those rich houses. That's how these places look like in that PS2. And I went over there. We saw some of properties are on listing, but the only sad part is not everybody know there.
Yeah.
So what they do is they just put a number behind, on the top of the door
windows,
and
gates,
say for sale, but no agent is listed. There is no market. Nobody's gonna go there. This house are not even on the internet. It's not even on Kufar. This house has been there for like more than 3 to 4 years. No one have ever called them. So there is a lot of houses for sale. Honestly, there is a lot for sale. A lot of people want to sell their houses because they want to do 1 or 2 things of their money, but they don't have buyers. So this is where we come in as an international real estate agency in the country to make sure that we have the concepts of open houses. We're still working with some other companies and some other individuals, and to be able to see how best we can, get an agreement with them and sell the houses. So obviously, please, if you are really looking to buy a house in Belarus or looking at to lease a property here, both commercial, residential, or possibly a shop, a boutique, stuff like that,
do you know anything about visas? Like, say for example, I'm in England, or doesn't matter where, and I want to buy a property here. What about visas and all that?
Oh yes. We know a lot about that. Especially this is why we're working with lawyers here. There is one of the main things that you have to understand is when you're an agent or a company, you have to have lawyer working with. If you buy a house in Belarus, that doesn't qualify you to have a citizenship actually.
No.
But you can have a visa that can allow you to come here, and you can have a residency of 5 years actually. And after the 5 years, if you live in the country after 5 years and understand the language, you can apply for citizenship, which is possible, but you have to go through a lot of exams. But basically, buying a house can give you residency in this country. And we know exactly how to process that with our clients outside. One of our clients who we are working with right now from Nigeria is actually buying a house here. And we are helping with the process of the visas. He have to actually land here first. But we always have, because that's why we have the travel agency in our website. That's why we help our people, our clients, or students, or people who are coming on business visit, because my company can actually invite anyone from the US, from Africa, from Europe, or from the UK, basically. And we would be their guarantor in this country, basically, whether they're coming to invest into business or they're coming to study or buy a house. So yes, we know a little bit more about that. Yeah.
Cool.
It's a long process sometimes, but
do you know any immigration lawyers that speak English?
Yes.
We would like one on the show.
I will try.
Okay.
I will try. No,
because there's a lot of people that want to visit as well, things like that, and they've changed the rules, because before at the airport you could get a 30-day visa waiver, right?
Yeah.
But they've changed it since sanctions for unfriendly countries. So, for example, a person from the US has to get a visa, whereas before
from
they
the
didn't.
from the embassy, yes.
Yeah, all those sort of things. So we just like to get someone to come in and.
But if for the US there is options actually. My partner that I'm inviting, when we went to apply for an invitation for him, because we have to, the person have to have an invitation.
Yeah, we know that.
That's a must.
Yeah.
So when we went to apply for an invitation at the immigration department, they told us that he could first go and apply at the embassy. If they refused him, in our application, we have to write a letter to the consular at the airport, because the consul is at the airport actually, that we are allowing this person on our guarantee that to fly from the US and get the visa at the airport on arrival, which is 100%. So that's what we are doing with our partner, because he don't like going to the embassies.
Yeah,
he don't actually like embassies thing, and we write to the we write to the immigration and they approve him. So yes, it's possible from, I don't know for other companies, but for my company, it's possible to invite somebody from the UK and from America to be able, not even going through the embassy.
Okay.
Yes. So that's very, very, my lawyer is always on point on that. Yes, we have a very, very good friend with one of the council member at the airport, at the migration office, who actually help with that all the time. And he speaks very, very frequent English.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But I will try to talk to him. I'm not sure that he will love to come, but I don't know, but I will try.
Yeah, because he could also maybe get some business as
yes,
well.
If not, I would try to get a sort of interview or maybe a sort of conversation with him where we can actually record it or get his video or stuff like that to be able to come. If possible, I can even invite you to come down and talk to him directly. You can get more message from him.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yes, so this way, I think possibly what people don't read, the sanctions that they lifted on Belarus affected the country that have put the sanction on Belarus, not the people of Belarus actually. And you can see Brazil don't need a visa here. They can stay here for 30 years, but they have an embassy in Brazil of Belarus. So because
there's many countries that don't need a visa to come here.
Exactly. Okay, from our country, like for example, we don't need a visa. We just have to come here and get our visa on arrival.
It used to be like I don't know what now, but my Australian passport used to be able to do that at the airport now. But because it's an unfriendly country, they might have changed that.
Yeah.
There's, I should mention also, you guys are talking about people that need visas to come here, but there is also, what about when Belarusians travel abroad? I only know of 2 countries in the Americas, only 2, where Belarusians don't need visas. One is Venezuela, and the other one is St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Cuba.
Oh, yeah, Cuba. I think they didn't list Cuba before, is because before you couldn't go to Cuba at all. Anyway.
Only from the US. Every other country's down there.
Because you have to go to the US. But I don't know. I think now Russia has direct flights, or was it?
Yeah, direct flights to Cuba.
To Cuba.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody else was.
You can get from Florida
Maybe
as well.
It was the Russian.
You can get from Florida as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm talking about anywhere besides the US. But yeah, okay. So
and
there's
from Canada,
Cuba, St. Vincent, and Venezuela. Are 3 countries where Belarusians don't need visas.
China.
I mean, in the Americas.
Okay.
Oh, in the Americans.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't have more clue about that though. All I understand that for them living out of Belarus to even Schengen, which is even more closer to them, it's difficult to get a visa now. Before, Belarusians can get a visa to Poland for like 5 years. Because
Italy.
Because one of my employee in my office is a Belarusian. She got a visa to Poland for like 5 years.
Yeah, because there's a reason behind that.
Yeah,
and
but
now it's not a friendly one.
Yeah,
not to Belarus.
Now it's different, and them going out as a tourist company, we were trying to see a best, because we were not trying to focus on the Schengen country for tourism actually, because it's actually the same thing. But when we initiated when we lifted the issue of tourism, taking Belarusians from Belarus to Africa to go and visit, most of them were very, very worried about the visas.
Argentina.
They don't need them.
I'm just looking them up. Argentina. There you go.
They don't need a visa to Argentina. No, that's not. That's
you
good.
don't need a visa.
When did they do that?
I don't know. I'm just looking.
That's good.
Well, when I was living in St. Vincent, it was only at that time it was Venezuela and St. Vincent that Belarusians could go to. Only 2 countries.
No, you haven't, Argentina. Okay.
Huh? Maybe it's a new one, and maybe with this new president, they're going to change it back again because he's anti-Russia. So he'll get around to putting it back on again. So
I think this basically they have most of their passports traveling to some of these countries is always a problem though, and people coming here. I don't know. Even Americans coming to Belarus is actually a little bit not difficult, a bit difficult though, because they don't have problems with the citizens. They just have problems with the government.
Yeah, that's the thing is that the U.S. is.
You can get one at Mexico at the airport as long as you've got 6 months on your Belarusian passport and you got a ticket to get out of there.
Wow! So there you go, Belarusians.
Yeah,
things are changing a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
But mostly, what I was going to say is that the U.S. and the West have been trying to take over Belarus. So they've been working on this for many years, and then indoctrinating the youth, as you know already. And Poland has even admitted that, and of course the U.S. has admitted that too. Through I think it used to be through Voice of America, and then it was Radio Free Europe, and I don't know if Belarus has actually kind of kicked them out, but they do recruiting all the time for Belarusians. And I think you go to, I was thinking it was Vilnius. It's either somewhere in Latvia or was it Lithuania? And you start doing training, and a lot of that training is to how to incite riots and things like that. And
yeah, I've seen that so many times.
Protests.
Most of these TVs and this their channels on Telegrams actually. But most of their vehicles too, like these used cars, are also coming from America, from Belarusians though. Like these big jeeps, they order them from America. I don't know how they always reach it over here.
BMW, yeah.
Yeah, and I one time was ordering a car before I get the Geely. And the guy was like, okay, the guy's gonna come from America. It's gonna take like 3 months before he reaches. I was like, you know what? It's all right. It's good. I'm gonna buy it over here. It's best to buy here because if you check the cost of buying, the cost of transports and custom lines is too much. You're gonna buy what if you're buying it for $10,000, you're gonna spend extra.
I mean,
it's definitely better to buy it here than to have it shipped in.
The Geely M Grand is really cheap. It's the new one, which is the 2022 model. Is $21,000.
And for those out there that don't know, the Geely's a Chinese car.
Yeah, it's a Chinese car, but
a lot
it's
of
one of
Chinese
the
cars.
best in Belarus actually.
Yeah.
They're very nice cars, trust me. So.
Yes, and this Geely Monjaro that looks like it looks like the Escalade actually. Is like a truck. This car is costing like $45,000, and as a company for us, we can lease this Geely for like 5 years, and we pay less than like 1,500 rubles monthly. As a company,
which is about $300 and something.
Yeah. So you pay that every month. Like that's cheap, it's easy, and then So basically, life in Belarus is easy. Things are cheap. Buying an apartment.
Good,
that's why we live here.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. It's like you can. It's a different feeling. Like It's like walking the streets and like the sidewalks. Things are clean. And there's
this is one of the most cleanest.
You're not going to get mugged.
I've ever been to it before.
Women aren't going to get raped, and it's like, they take care of the flower beds, and snow plows are out in the middle of the night to make sure that people can drive. And walk the sidewalks, and
wash the roads.
Yeah, stuff like that. Washing roads. I mean, it does
every time. That's like literally every day. Literally every day. They wash the road. They clean the roads. Snow time. Sometimes you feel like, oh, this is a very icy country. The roads are going to be blocked. No, it's not like Canada. Where you go to Canada and everywhere is like blocked. You can't even drive. It's not like that.
Well, people, I'll tell you what. If you come from the U.S. or Germany or anywhere, you'll be impressed. You come here, like everybody is impressed.
Exactly.
If you're not impressed, then you're totally brainwashed, and you don't really. You're not going to fit anywhere, except
for sure
in some graffiti place where there's muggings and rapes and people taking drugs and stuff like that.
But also to put this to once we have our thank you for showing the Facebook page. This is actually the Facebook page. This is how we have our educational program. So far, you can see how many students we have bring. You can see their visa stamps on their passport. Even yesterday we went to pick a student again. We brought one again on yesterday, and on Tuesday we are bringing like extra 4 at the same time.
They're coming.
These people are from This is like the business invitation. That's
mostly from Africa.
Mostly from Africa. Yeah.
So you guys can do even America or
everywhere,
other places,
of course,
everywhere. So you can see these are most of our students. If you scroll down again, scroll up, up a little bit. exactly. This business invitation was issued out to an African business owner who want to come and invest $500,000 in this country in real estate. So we issued this for him, and we asked for his permission to put this on our site to be able to see whether it's possible. He was like, yeah. And we have many more. Possibly the one that we did for the American partner, Cuban partner. We can put that on the internet actually, because I said he don't want embassies or talk less of social media of documentation stuff like that. But
America will go after him.
Exactly. So so we have many more.
Lukashenko agent. Putin agent.
Yeah. So every week we are actually welcoming nothing less than 5-6 people from Africa, and on educational programs. And, and we are also been talking to the immigration to be able to open the charter for tourism in this country. So they've been back and forth with us, but we are getting there. We're hoping that by June, my company will be among the first to open the tourism, programs in Belarus here, where we can invite people to come and have a tourist for like a week or two. Yeah. So we really are working on that really hard.
Yeah.
So basically, our students are coming. We're having a lot of good testimony from most of our students, and most of them are really referring us. Some of our students here, when they come, they will refer us to other people again, and they're really excited. And our agency don't always specialize us to just bring students to come and study here, but we sometimes provide them with a very, very wonderful accommodations. And so far, we've been going there a lot big in that. So you can also check us on Facebook. The Facebook name is J International Agency on Facebook. The
Instagram.
In Instagram is J_International Agency. On the website is just jreal.com. You would have the page actually, and you can go on and contact our numbers over there, and they would answer any question that you want. The website is translated into. You just have to make a request here. If you go to contact, you have to make a request. The email will come in. We have Russian and English in the website actually, both translated. So those who are in Russia or who are in Belarus who want to speak in Russian, everything is in Russian. You can see that. So it has a translation over both Russians and English directly. And we are going to actually working on directly. Yes. So if you're looking for real estate for your business visits over here, basically even visiting somebody aside our company, we can help you with business invitations. This allows you to be able to travel to Belarus and have your business smoothly and go back to wherever you're coming back from.
Cool.
You have any? We're going to cut off YouTube, or you have any?
Yes. So if you're on, get
rid of them.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube, come to Rumble, because we're going to play some videos that YouTube don't like. So yeah, exactly. And Duke goes off and cries. It upsets him a lot. So please come to the Rumble, and
let's discuss there.
Yeah, it's rumble.com/c/from the other side by. And we're there. So here we go. Or you can do HTTP, not an S, HTTP / from the other side video.com, or HTTP / from the other side live.com, and that'll get to Rumble as well, all those two. Okay, so we're going to cut everybody off on YouTube now, and we'll anyway, before we do that, thanks for that. That was great. And as I said, you're always welcome to come in and
Yeah, thank you. We're just trying to make sure that we let people understand Belarus and know exactly what we have here outside the outside world. If you remember my first time that I came here, I said we have all these people saying that Belarus is dangerous, there is war, there is this, there is that. I'm still alive. This is my maybe fifth. This is my fifth show in here, and then I'm always looking fresh and handsome all the time.
And you haven't been robbed or assaulted or nothing.
Never. Always. Oh, come on. I lost my wallet. let me tell you one day. I went to the restaurant in McDonald's. Is it McDonald's?
It was a KFC.
No, KFC. Sorry. It's McDonald's. And I left my purse over here. You can see, guys. It has my international credit cards. It have my business credit card. It have my national credit cards in Belarus here, and some few money in it. And I went to my car driving, and I forget that I dropped my wallet somewhere else. I came back like after 30 minutes, checked everywhere, checked all the cameras. They told me that, look, even if your wallet is lost, trust me, they will see it and leave it there. Nobody will pick it for you. And we check. We came back to exactly the same position we left it at, and people have sat there. They never took it.
Yeah.
I came back, took my wallet again. I was,
crazy.
oh my god! If this was some part of, oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, I always tell people I forget to leave the phone in the car or the GPS, and I go
They'll bring it
in the
back.
morning. I go, oh no, go down there. Oh, that's right, it hasn't been smashed and stolen.
No,
that's right.
no,
None of that shit happens.
no. They will bring it back to you, to your place. Basically, they will take it to the nearest. What happened in this country is I came to realize that if you lost your wallet, your money, your credit card, or stuff like that in any taxi or any car or any bus, you'll find it at the police station.
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a site that is basically for lost stuffs.
Our car, this guy opened his Mercedes and the wind caught the door and smashed the front of the, just hit the thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He called the police to find us.
And they did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he damage your car?
Yeah, and the police obviously called the wife because it's her car, and gave us the number of him, and then he said,
Yeah.
Like they actually have a system that works,
Everywhere. Everywhere, in your apartment, in your buildings, in your whatever happened, that's one thing I love about the system is this is for the safety of everybody. When you here, they wanted to register you where you are, your house, your address, your bed, your room, the number, whatever you have movement here, they know. So literally, you can steal, you can harm. You can. That's why if you go to most of the clubs in around Namibia, Zibiscaya, I think.
Zibiscaya,
yeah.
All the time you see at the clubs, the police don't care whether you are having a lot of things, but do not have an alcohol bottle
on your hand
on the streets.
Oh.
You'll be troubled. You'll be taken to jail. You can get drunk in the club,
have fun. Yeah.
but if you go in home, don't cause chaos.
Oh, it's like in America. You can't even have a beer
So
in the street in America because it's an open
the rules
bottle.
are actually different. Even if you get drunk, you can make noise outside. If you get drunk, call your taxi to pick you from the entrance to your home, and you're good. So, to get scared of the drunkard will attack me, do this to me. No, that is the last thing that you have to think about. You can walk from Zibiscaya up to your house by foot the whole night. Nobody will say hello or where are you going. That's one thing about this country.
It's so
safe.
funny, yeah.
It's really safe.
Because sometimes when I get calls from Nigeria, people say, "Oh, how you doing? How's the war over there?" And I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's so funny because I'm like, everything's cool here.
Obviously, if you go to Nigeria or you go to some part of African countries, you think about, okay, the pickpockets, yeah, they're coming. Same thing, like in England, some part of England, especially in Marlborough.
Yeah,
Trust me, that's a lot.
all Spain and Barcelona, all those sort of places.
Barcelona is worst.
Yeah, that's it.
And also
when I moved up here too.
Okay, everybody, I'm going to cut everybody off on YouTube. Come to Rumble to see the rest.
Yeah. Basically, if you go to, Ibiza, I've never been there before. I wanted to go there for many times. In